Hello my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It is Midnight Moon week 11. So I got all but one block finished. So here are the 5 blocks from last week and number 6. So it is almost finished. They're all the paper piecing. They're paper pieced. So I have to finish our foundation piece, however you like to think about it. So I have to get those finished and pull the papers off. And I did pull the papers off these two as I went. So there are no papers on the back, which is awesome. So these are ready. I just had to finish that other one as soon as I get done with this video, maybe. Okay, the other thing is I have a little video. I did a little clip while I was working with the paper piecing with these foundations. So I'm going to show that to you. Before I went ahead and trimmed these, you can see the shadow of the orange back there because the orange square was bigger. So I have been trimming, I'm using here my Olfa scissors because they're nice and sharp. And I've been just going on the edge and cutting that away and doing it like this. But I accidentally forgot to do it. And then notice that it was actually easier when it's already trimmed to size. So I am going to trim this one to size, which is, these are papers that make 2-inch, 1.5 finished. So it's 2-inch trimmed. Now I already did the one that I showed you. So I already did this one. So now I will just flip this back. And sometimes it's going to be more, sometimes it will be less, but I can just sort of tuck that scissor down under there and get most of that away so it's not creating, whoops, of course I have to get it out of there, so it's not creating that orange shadow of, there's a little bit of a line there. So I could trim that one a little bit better now that I just find it easier now that it's already trimmed to size. So happy thing to learn. Okay, there you go. So this is what I've done. Now there probably are other ways to handle that shadowing of the fabric, and if you want to share those down in the comments here or over at my community at Facebook along with Pat Sloan, go right ahead. I'd love to hear it because I do not do a ton of foundation or paper piecing like this. It's something I do just sporadically. I like it, but it's just sort of not my go-to thing. So glad to hear anything that you have to offer on that. And here are the next blocks for week 11. The darting birds and the nonsense block. And while you're here, if you would subscribe, click down below because we are getting close to 81,000 subscribers, and when we get to 85,000 subscribers I give away another quilt, so you want to be sure you're in on that if you have been watching and not subscribed yet. Okay, subscribing is free, by the way. I wanted to show you this panel. These are the Celebrate Seasons. This is a July panel, and I'd kind of forgotten about them. I did a couple of them, but I thought, I've got to get the July one out and take a look at it. I don't know, could I whip this up? Could I quilt it up really fast? Maybe some easy free motion quilting on it. But here is the panel. Look at that. And it fits on my front door if I kind of just do the panel. Otherwise it can tuck in somewhere else, and the extra fabric here I can use as backing because when you fold it, let me just show you this. See, there's this much extra even. You could even use it as binding, so there's plenty. But I just think this is so darn cute, just cute. Okay, so put that on my list. Just add that to my list while you're adding things. Okay, I have made progress here. I want to show you another clip because as I was sewing some stuff, I'm trying to sort of give you through the process and show you what I'm doing. So let's take a look. Here it is with one extra, and I think that's just going to be enough because then I can get it done. Now what I want to do next is get this row on the bottom. And it's not 3 full blocks, it's 2 full blocks, and then the third block just has 3 strips. So what I have done is I have these out. So I've got 2, and I am being particular on the colors. Like I don't want to have, like this rainbow is kind of distinct, so I didn't want the next block to also have a rainbow or not close. And also there are directional fabrics that happen to be on the rainbow. And this one, does this have, yeah, this has directional fabric too. So I am looking at that. Now these will be for the bottom row, and then the 3 will go over here. So there'll be like a 1, 2, 3, and I have to get those sewn up. I now have the plan. So the side, I just added 1 more strip. Let me just show you up close. So I have just the 1 more strip. I have all the blocks for this side, but I need to add the 1 more strip on each of the blocks, and it will be done. This will be one that I give to charity so they can quilt it, because I don't think the little girls in my family are the right age for this. They're either way too young, or they've just sort of gone, I think, over that age range where this might be just a little too much like a little girl's quilt, you know, and they're like preteens. So I don't know, I could ask. I could ask their mom, would they like that? But I don't know, one of the girls is, she might be. Anyway, so that is I'm excited about it. It's fun to use them up, it's fun to show the panel, and that's all good stuff. Now before we go on to the second part here, which is going to be discussing Norm. Yes, Norm the gnome. But before we go to that, I had a couple of Q&As that I just wanted to share. One is that Brenda asked, do I ever use a clapper? And this is a clapper. This was actually one sent to us by one of our friends here, and I do use them. So you know, if you all use clappers and have tips for them, please leave them in the comments and let's share the knowledge. Okay, another question I had was from Belinda. Yes, Belinda says, could you show us, let me just get this, could you show us your most favorite fabrics at the moment? I know your tastes change over time. Also, you get sent fabric, but what is the most favorite fabric at the moment? You know, that's an immensely hard question, because basically fabric is what motivates me and makes me, you know, turn, and what makes everything happen. Probably one thing that I got in recently, you know, besides my own fabrics, which of course my own fabrics come and it's exciting, but I've already been sort of working with them mentally for a long time. And so I think you're more talking about what do I see? And I saw this bundle, I think I showed you the other day, Midnight Garden. And when I saw this bundle, I just love the colorations of it. For some reason, this was like, oh, that's great. I really love how this looks, that charcoal. Let's just open it up. So there's like charcoal, I think, or it might be more navy. What does that look? I think it's actually more navy. And navy, and I love this print there. Look at this print. That these kind of prints just really get me. They're symmetrical, but then they fill in. It has little bees, and I'll get you closer in on that. See the bees? This is leaves with like berries, and I love right now, I'm really attracted to anything that's sort of two-tone like this. Those really attract me. Here's another, I do think this is navy. I was thinking it was charcoal. Look at that, look at the apples. The peach and the green, all the colorations in these just tick all my boxes. They're just like, so cute. And I want to sew something with it, but I don't know what. So I am looking around. I'm thinking of taking one of my own, like the patterns that come with, look at this, look at the two-tone. There's a hedgehog in there. Look at that. And the little garden. Yes, this is called Midnight in the Garden. So let me just walk you through these. I'm thinking of doing one of my blocks, that from one of the sew-alongs that is in repeat, and then just use these fabrics to do the same block over and over, and each time use different combinations of the fabric. I just want to make something with this. So that's what happens. This is how, and I think this also somewhat answers a question from Nadine as to what inspires me, what catches my eye. This is all the same kind of question. And most of the time, it's going to start with fabric. Look at this. Some of this I might need to go grab another piece before you all buy it. Look at the tans. Look at the tan. Ah, so that's what I'm thinking is a repeat block, and I just use these, something that's interesting. Maybe grab it from one of my books. I don't know. A little bit of gray. Ah, it's all just so yummy. Look at that. But those colors grabbed me. I don't know why. They just really spoke to me when and I'm seeing them on the internet. I'm not seeing these in person, so I ordered this for myself. I was like, I had to have it. I don't know. I'm thinking that apple print. This is pretty too. But the apple print, apple, where'd it go? The apple on peach. I could do an Oh My Stars maybe with this. That would showcase these fabrics. But I'm thinking a piece block, something simpler. All right, let's go to the other side of the table and see what I'm going to do with Norm. So it is finally time for me to do something with Norm, and I have a fun plan, and Norm is going to do a little bit of traveling, but he has to get finished up. He has to get dressed up. He can't just go as a flimsy like this, and he needs a border. So let's see what kind of border will work for this. So you're gonna give me your opinion. First of all, I think he needs a little inner border, which means I believe Carrie, one of our two Carries, who are the ambassadors, said, why don't you use a little bit of that red like his lips for an inner border? So okay, let's try that, see how he looks. And this happens to be just a scrap from the face. So I actually think I need to keep this for Nanette's faces. So I am just using it as an audition piece. I can either just go buy some, or I probably have in my red something very similar. It might be a print, which will be fine. It'll be tiny, I think tiny skinny. So I don't want a big border, maybe 2 inches at the most. So I could just take, I have enough of this gray extra because I had bought some extra. So I could do like a little 2-inch gray and just keep it simple like this. Do a little 2-inch gray and then maybe bind it in a green. Yeah, because you got to think about binding too, right? So there'd be great. But let's look at the other ones because I always like to do something a little bit more. So I went through green first, and I got a bunch of green options to look at. Now this particular line of fabric, let's see, I've got, Norm's a bit of a pig. He is taking 2 bins. I don't really like projects to take 2 bins, but Norm has. And you know, next year, 2023, I'm doing the Norm quilt. So this was the fabric line used for the kit. I have a paint box. I have a kit, this is by Elizabeth Hartman, who also is the designer of the Norm and Nanette pattern. Ta-da! Okay, so there we go. I don't have any of that fabric other than the kit and that extra layer cake. And so I am not going to piece a layer cake border. All right, let's continue. Green, that means I have to use something I own. So I got a bunch of green out. There's one that's a floral. What's kind of neat about this one is it has a little bit of blue in it, which brings this blue. It also is a nice scale. It's fairly dense, and so it doesn't distract from Norm. So she says. And then here is a green polka dot. This is one I've had a long time. I've used it in a couple of things. It's an awesome green. This is a very olivey green, very olive. And so this would be a super cool option. I mean, I like this one a lot. Now I have some leaf fabric, which is also, I think, goes with the theme of him. Now it's a bigger print, so it may be a little too distracting. You know, who cares really? If you like it, you like it. But if you feel it's too distracting, I don't know. And then here's 2 others that are more tonal. So get this guy in about a 2-inch strip. So this one is just got a little tiny print on it. And then here is a woven that is in that a little bit deeper green. And that's a really nice option too. I like this. And so that's a woven fabric, which is the same feel as what this background is, but it's a different manufacturer. So it's not the same type of fabric. Okay, I thought about blue, and I grabbed 2, but I want to show them to you. See what you think. I know, I already told you what I think, didn't I? Here, because I thought, you know, it's got the blue in there. Could he look good with a blue border? And I'm just Just not feeling it. Just not feeling it. What about you? I probably shouldn't like give away my thoughts so fast, but I don't know, you know. I think there's just not enough blue in Norm to make that work. Now, I asked our ambassadors what did they think, and Dennis said, well, I'd like to see some gold. So gold, when I hear the word gold, okay, let's chat. When I hear the word gold, I hear yellow. When I hear the word yellow, I hear every shade of yellow from light butter to really into browns even. You know, very, very much a goldy brown. So I got out the whole yellow bin here, and I pulled a few of these to show you because, you know, a lot of them won't work. So this is easier to pull a few. So this one is from my Bonnie Lane. There we go. It was actually, see how all this white part? This was some strike-offs, they call it. Some the initial fabric that I got sent, you know, before it went to print. No, I'm sorry, this is Morrison Park. Before it went to regular print. Got the name wrong. Okay, so anyway, here is, I gotta fold it. There we go. All right, I'm getting it. Hold on. There we go. So here, this one reads a little bit more on the orange maybe than the gold. So even after all that rigmarole to fold it, it's not right. So here's one that I think is a little bit more on the gold, and it's interesting. I'm not sure that's it. If I were to use this though, I probably would change this red out. Maybe I'd even do black or charcoal. Then I think, so take this away a bit. Then I think it works a little bit better than with that red there. Here's another that's much more in the gold family. Okay. And now let me show you the last one, which leaned way towards the brown, more towards the brown. All right. What I like about this one is it goes with the brown in the mushrooms. So I kind of like that. I'm still not sure about red in there. I was going to say, do I have a piece of black that I could just grab out of here to test? Wait. In these bins that he is taking over. Here's a strip. I think I have to put it back in there because I think I've cut these for the other faces, so I can't lose it. So look at that. See, if you have black in there and something like this, I think that works. I kind of like that. And then here was back to one of my other favorites was this green polka dot. I like that green polka dot. I liked all of these greens. I liked all of those greens. Okay. So that's a lot of thinking. That's a lot of thinking. Leave me a comment which you liked, even if you just say the color family. You know, you liked the green, you liked the yellow, you liked that brown, maybe you liked blue. I could tell it wasn't my favorite. So that is Norm and getting him ready to go. Next thing I have to do is cut up the Midnight Moon for this week. You know, one of the things about Midnight Moon is that definitely it's going to be a hustle for me to keep up, and so it will be the one thing that drops away if I need it to in the next, you know, few weeks while we're doing the Birdsong Love Fest quilts, while we're doing other quilts. But that's okay. It's okay. I get back to it. But I think I'm going to try to keep up. So wish me luck. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.